Well, hello everyone and welcome to the Bowling University studio for the International Bowling Campus here in Arlington, Texas. This is the Profit Break. If you're joining us for the first time, we're glad you're here. Give us 15 minutes and you're going to be well on your way to improving yourself and your profitability. Now, if you're like most small business owners or operators, just the mere mention of the word sales kind of sends us into a cold sweat. With all the things you have to do to get done in a given day, sales just never seem to make it on the list. In fact, my guess is that if we're honest with ourselves, most of you tuning in today don't consider yourselves salespeople and probably not very comfortable with the idea of being responsible for sales in your current role. Well, fear not, help is on the way. And at today's show, we have a guest who's going to show you how you can have your cake and eat it too. Joining us today is Mr. Roger Grannis. Roger is a sales communication expert known for his energy, relatability, and humor. Now, Roger is in high demand as a keynote speaker. He's also the author of the best-selling book, The Yellow Cake Principle, Your Recipe to Influence and Success, which is available on Amazon. Roger, great to meet you. Thanks for joining us today.
Bart, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm so pumped to come out to Colorado for Bowling Expo. It's going to be great.
Yeah, well, thank you again. Now, you're going to be joining us as a first-time speaker. So for the folks joining us today, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Well, first of all, I loved your intro. And as a matter of fact, in first grade, when my teacher asked me, Roger, what do you want to be to grow up? I did not say, I want to go into sales. No, not at all. So we're all in the same boat. Sales does not come naturally to people. In fact, in first grade, now think back to your own first grade, folks watching, you probably had a friend or two that went to speech therapy, right? They got pulled up out of the classroom, sent down the hall to work on talking. Well, that was me. So I did not go into sales naturally. I've actually, candidly, spent a lot of my life overcoming some speech issues and, fear of speaking. I was quite shy as a kid, a little bit awkward. So I've really dedicated a lot of time to learning how to communicate better. And through that, I've learned some skills, some tips, tricks, and strategies, certainly in selling, but also in communication and influence, customer service. And I'm looking forward to sharing that with everybody at the conference.
Yeah. Well, full disclosure, Roger, I was one of those kids in first grade that got pulled out too as well. So we are kindred spirits there.
Amen. Amen, brother.
So let's talk a little bit about your idea for the Yellow Cake Principle. How did that come up and where did all that start? I don't think about cakes and selling, in the same sentence.
Yeah, so here's what happened. So I'm in a men's group. Frankly, it's through my church, and we meet on Saturday mornings. And so we were all asked one morning to share a story about somebody who did a good deed for other people. And so we went around the room, and frankly, guys were really impressed, really opening up. A couple tears were shed. And so this story popped in my mind about something that my mom did when I was 10. She had a lot of rules: never talk to strangers, never give them rides, never let strangers in the house. And one day, I got home from school, and there in our kitchen was a woman named Shirley, a complete stranger my mom had met down at the grocery store outside Safeway. Long story short, Shirley was down on her luck and told my mom about her husband who had just died and his favorite dessert that he asked her to make on his birthday every year. And it was yellow cake made from scratch and old family recipes. So my mom said, hey, Shirley, let's go in the store. Let's get all the ingredients. Why don't you come over to my house, show me how to make the cake and stay for dinner? So my friends were really impressed with that story. And so as I thought about what my mom did, I thought, it's just like what you do in sales. If we break it down, there are three key ingredients. One, we've got to connect with people, make a true human-to-human connection. I mean, think about folks coming into the bowling center. They want to, they want to have a good environment. They want to connect with each other. They want to connect with the folks working there and so forth. And then my mom took time to ask questions, understand. She got to know Shirley beyond the surface, got to know more about her husband. And then she did a third thing, present. She presented an opportunity to make somebody's life better. So I thought, first of all, my friends loved the story. I thought, wait a minute. If this is just like selling, wouldn't it be easier to use a metaphor like these three ingredients, the yellow cake principle, I call it, to teach people who, may not be in sales full time, aren't comfortable with it, to really simplify the sales process. So that's where the story came from. My mom helping somebody out, and then looking at the 3 steps my mom took. She made a connection, she took time to understand another person, and then she presented an opportunity. CUP, that's the yellow cake principle. And then we'll dig deeper into each of those at our session, and we'll make it really simple. So if you're like us and you don't, sales doesn't come naturally, and frankly, it really doesn't, this will give everybody a framework, a track to follow for having those sales conversations.
Right. Well, I know that you're going to unpack a lot of this for us when we're together in Denver, and I don't want to give too much away, but for those tuning in today, is there maybe a tip or one strategy that you can give folks to get started on this journey before they join us?
Yeah, I think I would, again, we'll go in deeper in Colorado, but it's really those 3 steps. If we want to make a connection with people, we've got to preheat the oven. We want to take time to get to know them, ask questions, listen, understand, and then present an opportunity. And we want to tailor our message so that we're not saying the same thing to everybody. We want to get to know the people, learn their communication style, learn what's important to them, and then not say everything, but mention a feature or 2 and customize the way you say it. And I guess if there's one single tip of all the things that I teach, we think that selling is learning how to talk better. Really, selling is about how to listen better. I've observed top producers over more than 30 years, and the top salespeople universally do less talking than their prospects. So listening is the key to selling. One of them, but certainly top of the list.
Yeah, and I actually noticed that, I came across that when I was reading your book there, that you said some of the best salespeople are great listeners, not great talkers. And when I think about sales folks, you have this stereotype of the slick talking salesperson that can talk you into anything. A good salesperson we think can talk you into anything, but really what you emphasize in the book, and I heard you say, is that you need to be probably better as a listener.
So true. I look at the 3 of the top salespeople I've ever met. My college roommate, my uncle, and somebody at a large financial services company. And meeting them, you would not initially say, "Ooh, they must be good salespeople." You think, "Wow, they're kind of quiet, trustworthy, and so forth," but they're really good listeners. In fact, there's an old saying in sales: people buy from people they know, like, and trust. So one of the ways to build that trust is to do less talking and more listening. In fact, Bart, you mentioned the stereotypical salesperson, they slick and sell ice to Eskimos. One of the reasons we don't like them and are turned off by that approach is that they skip the first 2 steps. They don't connect, they don't get to know us, and they just come in and blast us with information.
Well, you're preaching to the choir here for those of us at the campus in Bowl University, because I love when you said people buy from people, because I absolutely believe that. And in our business, we sell a product that's not a tangible product. It's experiences, out-of-home entertainment experience, and that connection is so key. So let's talk a little bit about what are some of the biggest aha moments people get when they come to one of your workshops. I know you're speaking around the country. You're in Oregon today. So what are some of the takeaways and feedback you hear, those aha moments for those attendees?
Sure. One of the biggest ones is, and frankly, to be candid, I learned this much later in my communications career, probably at least halfway through. And here it is. So there are 4 distinct communication styles, and we'll go into that deeper at Bowl Expo. But we tend to speak in our own style. We want to speak to others as we want to be spoken to. But what happens then is that we miss the 3 other communication styles. So, for example, one of the styles is called steadfast. And steadfast people they want decisions made right now. They don't want a lot of chit chat. They don't want you to ask them about their family. They come into the center and they say, how much does it cost for my son's birthday party? And they want bullet points. It's $25, it's this, it's that. 1, 2, 3. Other people, another style would be outgoing. So think of somebody like Robin Williams, all over the map, crazy, wild, high energy. If we just give bullet points to a Robin Williams, he's going to think, wait, what? Did I say something to offend you? What's going on here? So it's one of the biggest aha moments, Bart, is learning the 4 distinct communication styles, identifying your own, and then making some adjustments so that your approach is going to be received much more universally by all those different personalities coming through your place.
Good, great tips, and I know you're going to unpack a lot more of that when you're with us in Denver there. So I've got time to sneak in one more, and I probably should have started with this, and it may not be fair to close with this, but I think our viewers today, it's always one of the top things that folks ask us when it comes to this topic of selling. How do we overcome the fear of selling? Is there, and I know it's probably a long discussion, but any tips or strategies on how do you overcome the fear of this thing called sales?
Yeah, so I think a couple of things. One, if you have a sales process, and that's what I'm going to be giving in Denver, it just gives you a track to follow. Okay, I'm here. First thing I need to do is connect. Then I need to, understand them, and then I need to present an opportunity. Okay, that alone gets you to calm down. I think, secondly, referring back to those 4 communication styles, that helps you build a lot of confidence so that you're able to flex your style and have a much, I'll call it a broader, I'm going to use the word repertoire, different tools in your toolbox that you can use to better connect with people. So that's kind of the physical aspect, the track and the 4 communication styles. Another thing is I'm a firm believer in exercise, taking care of yourself. If you feel good, you feel confident, you're going to be much more naturally connecting with people, more confident in meeting with them, and they're going to feed off your energy. So those are a couple of tips, and certainly we go, oh, actually, you know what? I want to add one other thing. Think of selling as a numbers game. Everyone you meet is not going to say yes. So, for example, if you're going to a party and you want to overcome your fear of meeting new people and networking, instead of just going up to one person, what I do is say, all right, I'm going to go shake hands and meet 5 people. That takes the pressure off of having to be successful with all 5 people. It takes the pressure off you if the first person, maybe somehow you just don't connect and you go, oh, no, I can't do this. But if you think, oh, the first one I didn't connect with, let me try 4 more, it takes the pressure off. So thinking of selling as a numbers game is just another way to help overcome the fear.
Well, Roger, thank you for joining us. Great tips, and we look forward to seeing you in Denver. Be here before you know it.
You got it, Bart. Thanks for having me. I look forward to meeting everybody. Take care.
All right. Well, hey, folks, if you need the ingredients to connect, influence, and persuade others, then make sure you join Roger in Denver for a session at Bowl Expo on Wednesday, July the 3rd. You are not going to want to miss it. Now, if you're ready to start improving your profitability, you can reach us anytime at education@bpa.com. So as we wrap up another edition of The Profit Break, remember, when your focus is on growing people, people will grow your business. Now, this episode, as well as all our previous Profit Break episodes, are available 24/7 for you and your team at bowlinuniversity.net. Plus, we have new episodes available every month. Mark your calendar, watch your email, join us on Facebook to hear about all the latest episodes. Until then, I'm Bart Berger, and remember, do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. We'll see you next time.